travel faster than a bullet, impossible to stop, and capable of striking anywhere on Earth in minutes. The age of hypersonic weapons has arrived, and it's not science fiction. The US, China, Russia, and Iran are all racing for domination. But in this game, second place could mean total destruction. The 21st century has ushered in a new era of global military competition, one that extends beyond traditional ballistic and cruise missiles. This modern arms race centers around hypersonic weapons, advanced systems that can travel at speeds exceeding Mach 5, over 6,000 km/h, while maintaining extreme maneuverability. These systems are poised to redefine strategic warfare, compress decision-making timeframes, and challenge existing missile defense architectures. The main players in this race, the United States, China, Russia, and increasingly Iran, are investing billions to develop, test, and deploy hypersonic technology. While the US has long dominated global military innovation, it faces rising competition from near-peer rivals and emerging threats. In this article, we explore how each of these nations is approaching hypersonic development, where they currently stand, and what the implications are for global security. What are hypersonic weapons? Hypersonic weapons fall into two main categories: hypersonic glide vehicles, HGVs. These are launched from rockets and then glide toward their target at hypersonic speeds. They can maneuver unpredictably in the atmosphere, making them hard to track. Hypersonic cruise missiles, HCMs. These use high-speed air-breathing engines, scramjets, to fly at sustained hypersonic speeds, usually at lower altitudes. What makes hypersonic weapons so threatening is their speed, agility, and stealth, which collectively undermine current missile defense systems designed for more predictable ballistic trajectories. The United States, a sleeping giant, awakens. For the United States, the realization that its dominance in military technology is under threat came with a shock. Though long a leader in aerospace and missile development, the US was caught off guard when both Russia and China demonstrated advanced hypersonic capabilities years ahead of schedule. The Pentagon now admits that America is playing catch-up. But the US is not standing still. Billions of dollars have been invested in a range of hypersonic programs led by the Department of Defense, DARP, and private aerospace contractors. The Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, ARRW, developed by Lockheed Martin, aims to provide the U.S. Air Force with a hypersonic missile that can be deployed from bombers like the B-52. However, a string of test failures in recent years has raised concerns about the program's viability. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army is working on the Long-Range Hypersonic Weapon, LRHW, a ground-based system that launches a glide vehicle at hypersonic speeds toward distant targets. The Navy, for its part, is developing the Conventional Prompt Strike System, a submarine-launched hypersonic weapon intended for precision strikes across oceans. And behind it all, DARPA continues to push the limits of technology with the Hypersonic Air-Breathing Weapon Concept, HAWC, exploring scramjet propulsion to enable missiles that sustain hypersonic speeds in the atmosphere. Despite these efforts, the US has yet to field an operational hypersonic weapon. Its strategy focuses not only on offense but also on defense. The development of space-based sensors, rapid response tracking systems, and eventually, the potential to intercept hypersonics using directed energy weapons or advanced interceptors. But time is running out. The race is on, and America is no longer in the lead. Russia, the first to strike. Russia, by contrast, has taken a more aggressive and highly publicized approach to hypersonic weapons. President Vladimir Putin has described them as a game changer, a way to ensure Russian strategic dominance in the face of NATO and US missile defenses. And unlike the United States, Russia has already deployed several hypersonic systems. The most famous is the Avangard, a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Mounted atop an intercontinental ballistic missile, the Avangard can reach speeds of up to Mach 20 and perform evasive maneuvers during descent, making it nearly impossible to intercept. Then there is the Kinzhal, an air-launched hypersonic missile that can be fired from modified MiG-31 interceptor jets. With a reported range of 2,000 kilometers and speeds exceeding Mach 10, the Kinzhal has been used in the war in Ukraine, though with mixed results. While it demonstrates Russia's willingness to use hypersonic technology in combat, questions remain about its precision and Russia's triad of hypersonic systems. Designed for naval platforms, Zircon is a scramjet-powered cruise missile capable of striking targets on land or sea. Russia claims it will be deployed on submarines and frigates, giving Moscow the ability to project hypersonic power into NATO-controlled waters. Russia's hypersonic doctrine is clear: overwhelm enemy defenses, preserve second strike capability, and maintain deterrence through technological intimidation. Whether the weapons perform as claimed is still debated, but the message is unmistakable. Russia wants the world to believe it holds the keys to the future battlefield. China. Precision in silence. While Russia brags, China builds. With quiet intensity and a veil of secrecy, Beijing has emerged as perhaps the most formidable competitor in the hypersonic domain. Unlike Russia's overt displays, China's approach is methodical and deeply integrated into its broader military strategy. The most well-known Chinese hypersonic system is the DF-17, a medium-range ballistic missile equipped with the DF-ZF hypersonic glide vehicle. Deployed since at least 2020, the DF-17 is operational and designed to target regional threats such as U.S. bases in the Pacific and naval assets in contested waters. The DF-ZF has been tested multiple times and is believed to be highly maneuverable, making it exceptionally difficult to track or intercept. But China's ambitions go beyond regional dominance. In 2021, China tested a hypersonic weapon that stunned Western analysts. The system involved a fractional orbital bombardment vehicle, FOBS, a concept developed during the Cold War, combined with a hypersonic glide vehicle. The weapon orbited the Earth before deorbiting and hitting a target in China. While it missed by a few dozen kilometers, the test demonstrated a level of sophistication that caught the Pentagon off guard. China's strategic goals are deeply tied to hypersonic development. It seeks to prevent U.S. intervention in Taiwan, extend its power across the South China Sea, and assert control over key trade routes and sea lanes. Hypersonic weapons allow China to strike carriers, air bases, and command centers with little warning, limiting the ability of the U.S. to respond. Unlike Russia, China has not openly threatened to use hypersonics, but its capability speaks volumes. It has built test facilities, wind tunnels, and simulation labs unmatched by most countries. Iran, a regional challenger with global implications. Though not often mentioned in the same breath as the superpowers, Iran has entered the hypersonic conversation. In 2023, Iran unveiled the Fattah missile, a hypersonic system it claims can reach speeds of Mach 13 and evade all current missile defenses. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps presented it as a breakthrough capable of striking Israel or American bases in the Gulf within minutes. Iran, a regional challenger with global implications. Though not often mentioned in the same breath as the superpowers, Iran has entered the hypersonic conversation. In 2023, Iran unveiled the Fattah missile, a hypersonic system it claims can reach speeds of Mach 13 and evade all current missile defenses. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps presented it as a breakthrough capable of striking Israel or American bases in the Gulf within minutes. Western analysts greeted the announcement with skepticism. Iran has a history of exaggerating its missile capabilities for propaganda purposes. The lack of verifiable test data and the opaque nature of Iran's military programs make it difficult to assess the true performance of the Fattah. Yet even if the claims are inflated, the implications are serious. Iran has already demonstrated a growing proficiency in ballistic missile technology, drone warfare, and proxy-based regional influence. The potential addition of hypersonic weapons, even if only regionally effective, would shift the strategic balance in the Middle East. These portions should change. Also include the deleted footages to the visuals. I need to see the Fattah missile that attacked to Israel. For years, Iran's military threats were brushed off as propaganda. Empty words, overhyped tech. But that illusion shattered the moment Iran fired its Fattah hypersonic missile. And it did the unthinkable. It broke through Israel's Iron Dome. Yes, the Iron Dome, the missile defense system that's protected Israel for over a decade. The system trusted to intercept incoming rockets with near-perfect precision. It just got outpaced, outmaneuvered, and overpowered by Iran's newest weapon. The Fattah didn't just fly. It screamed through the skies at Mach 13, hitting its mark in mere minutes. No warning, no interception, just impact. This wasn't a test. This was a message to Israel, to the US, and to every power watching. Iran's hypersonic era has officially begun. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps called the launch a historic breakthrough, and for once, the world couldn't ignore it. Western analysts, once skeptical, are now rethinking everything. Because this isn't about one missile, it's about a new kind of warfare. Iran already dominates with drones, ballistic tech, and proxy influence across the region. But now, with a proven hypersonic strike that defeated the most trusted missile defense on Earth, the entire strategic balance in the Middle East just shifted. The question now isn't if Iran is a threat, it's how soon before it acts again, and who's next. The hypersonic arms race isn't about speed, it's about survival. As superpowers push boundaries, the threat of global conflict grows deadlier by the day. Who will lead? Who will fall behind? And are we prepared for what comes next? If you want more truth behind today's most dangerous tech, like, subscribe, and stay alert.